You are now live. Okay. So I was just like recording a video. Okay. First of all, do not get the Nokia C2 Tava. Okay, that's a shit phone. Also, the Samsung Galaxy A1 is okay, but there's no storage space. Okay, anyways. I just want to say, dude, regular ass people fucking hate confrontation so fucking much. It's actually crazy how much they hate confrontation. Like, they break down, they like stop working, they like malfunction and shit. It's actually crazy. Like, if you ever listen, if you're not a confrontational person, that's totally fine. We are raised to be extremely passive and compliant and docile, and you see what happens to people who aren't. So if you are not confrontational, this is not necessarily to belittle you. I do think you should do your best. It would be to your benefit to be assertive, not aggressive. There's a difference. Although, but you know, in people's refusal to contend with confrontation with assertion, one common trick is to label it as aggression. Like, if you are an assertive person, and if you are, you're a fucking diamond, please don't die. Is you probably know that like people will mistake you for being aggressive, you know, and I mean, we're not gonna even like. Oh God, how is everybody doing? I hope I can save this thing somewhere. You know, gotta make my mark. I don't even know how to do this. I'm a fucking boomer, man. Okay. What the fuck, man? How do I? Is okay. So if I exit out, is this all just gonna die? You are now live. Okay, so I guess gonna try and find a topic, because I realized like what I said in a video that had to get discarded because it wasn't over a minute long was normally I would just record this on my video, put it on my computer, upload it to YouTube. You know, some little nasty hellions would just have to bear witness to that. But now you good listener are subject to this now, because storage space ain't shit on this phone. And what were we talking about? Confrontation, assertion. Oh yeah, so I guess just like story time, because what the fuck else am I supposed to do? I can't fall asleep. That's why we're here right now. For no like strong particular reason either. Like, I smoked weed for the first time in like a couple weeks last night, and felt the cracks in my mind. Like, and there's no less like dramatic, cringy way to say that. Like, honestly, and like drank like a little bit. I had half a beer. Okay. Oh God. Oh yeah, and I stopped smoking, y'all. Woohoo! Kind of, sort of. I've had like the equivalent of one cigarette over the past like week and a half. I almost said year and a half. Jesus, man, dude. Sometimes your tongue just slips, man. People gotta understand that. Sometimes your tongue just slips. Like, and that's okay, you know. And we should not be judged on that, even when it's a Freudian slip. I try not to. Well, I guess sometimes I can be a little hard on people's Freudian slips. I'll do better, okay? Um, Whoever's made it this far, there's something, you belong in a padded room. I did not need to suck Zaddy for that long. Tree crystalline, that's my CPAP. Till it turns on me, anxiety attack. Write that down. Okay. Confrontation. Oh yeah, just okay. No names. No names. If you are present in the story, no hate necessarily. I mean, maybe some eye roll, but you know, confrontation. Like, I've talked to people that like. I guess there's nothing really like noteworthy about it. It's just they stop working. Like they start glitching. Okay, fine. We'll dumb boring little story. Like, you know, there was someone who I heard like talking about me, and I know I heard them over talking about a rumor that was being spread about me from an ex, that I did like all these like crazy horrible things. Some of them I did, and I take full credit, and I'm very proud of some of those things. But some of those things were absolutely, like, to put it lightly, dangerously irresponsible to just say about someone. Even if they're annoying you, you know, that is just like not cool. But anyway, so, you know, word was getting around school that I'm fucking crazy. And what? No way. But anyways, and I heard this person telling some other total stranger about how I was like insane, because they saw me at some like Halloween party or something. I was like sulking in the bushes by the garage, like away from everybody, half because I just needed to get away from everybody because I was high, and half because I was just having a bad time and didn't really know anybody there like that. You know, I was kind of wasn't succeeding in the social dance for that party, definitely. But they were leaving. You know, she had recognized me in the party, but had like played it like, "Oh hi," you know, or whatever. And it's like, and I'm like, I knew that was fake. And I try and like be half sincere when I'm like, you know, what's up, or whatever dumb shit I would say as a junior, senior, I don't know. Oh man, it's all a blur. But I heard her telling this other person that I was insane, and that just makes me mad. Because again, that's a touchy subject for me, like being misrepresented. Like if you want to say bad things about me that's true, that's gangsta. That's awesome. Good for you. Please, you should to my face. I will thank you later. But if you're like making up bullshit, oh my god, that makes me so mad. And okay, I'm gonna stop this because I'm paranoid that I'm gonna like run out of time to post it as a little lightning bolt or fucking whatever. So we're gonna pause this shit right here. Fuck. Button. You are now live. What keeps you awake at night? You should pay close attention to that. What are thoughts that you shove down in the fucking gutter? You should pay attention to that. Come on, man. Be or non-man being. Be good to yourself. Yeah. Stop letting yourself do that. Stand up to yourself. Anyways, what were we talking about the story? Oh man, did I label that last video part 2? I sure hope I did. Oh, so I got up out of the bushes. Which, okay, I will admit that some of these confrontation stories, in retrospect, it is like, I am a tall guy. Like, I understand I can be intimidating to certain people. You know, not, for example, the guy I picked up limping at 3 a.m. Wait, what did I say that in the live or in the video before my phone ran out of space? Anyways, so like, I understand a little fear because, you know, like, especially if you've heard rumors about me that make me sound like a really bad person. It's like, yeah, maybe, I guess, yeah, maybe in retrospect, maybe this chick was scared that, oh, I wasn't supposed to say gender, whatever. I was trying to keep it like, you know, just blank face. But yeah, maybe she was just scared because she thought I was gonna like pop her in the face or some shit. Like, I have no idea, honestly. But you know, I wasn't trying to be like, hey, heard you were talking shit, what the fuck is the problem? No, but I just like walked up to them when they were walking back from the car and sat there all like fucking timid little like beta boy with my like knee shaking. Because I mean, like, I'm fucking scared, like, to like, but you know, like, to stand up for myself, like, which is weird. It never gets easier for me. Like, I've stood up to myself or for myself and like a lot of some like fairly tense scenario. Well, I feel like once it's tense past a certain threshold, you're just in like diet survival mode, so you just don't even think about it, you know? Versus like dumb little social things like this is hard for me. Like what I did, this was hard for me. Like, I mean, like I just got up and did it. Like, I mean, you just gotta, you know, the first wave of an impulse will be the strongest, so you gotta bounce on that, or the second one if you hesitated. But if you hesitate after, you know, the first, second, third, fourth one, yeah, it's over. You're probably not gonna do it unless you like, or if you do, it's gonna take a lot of willpower. Also, going on first impulse will get it the most organic and the most gangsta, you know. So, but you know, that's the problem with impulse, because some impulses are bad. So you have to make a split-second decision, be like, okay, there's this impulse. Is it good or bad? Do I do it? Do I do it right now? Okay. Like, you have to make that decision right there. Or if it's a good thing, it's gone. But you can't, but don't do it if it, don't just jump and do it if it's a bad thing, you know. Anyways, but yeah, I just, like, walked up to them, like, oh, hey, just so you know, there's 2 sides to every story. And she was like, ha, what? And I, like, repeated myself, and she was like, and I was, or, like, she was like, wait, what are you talking about, or something, and then I was, but, you know, like, all, like, laughy and, like, breaking down a little bit, and, like, I was like, you called me insane, and she was like, something about Minions? What? Because, like, Minions were a meme right then, so I guess it was just whatever her brain jumped onto, like, but yeah, like, but I was like, no, that's not what I said, like, or, I don't know, they just, I might have just given up, like, when I realized that she was glitching, and I was just like, oh, fucking forget it, or whatever, I just walked away. But yeah, shit like that happens. Like, I've seen people, like, blink all, like, fucked up. You know, that's something that, like, movies or, like, fake to media can never capture from real life, like, things like, okay, you can watch all your movies or your TV shows or your video games, and it could be the most, like, violent shit happening, or the craziest shit happening, with the most craziest amount of special effects and, like, amazing actors, but it's, like, something that, like, these type of media don't capture. And I'm not saying they can't capture it. It would be kind of hard, but they don't, because they're trying too hard for mass appeal, because capitalism, but that's another story. Is how fucking, like, awkward and grotesque, but in, like, weird ways, that, like, candid moments like this can be. Like, people, like, have you ever seen somebody, like, in a fight, or, like, been in a fight with somebody, or, like, just seen something, like, weird, or, like, had something weird happen to you, or done, you know, it's like, people make, like, the strangest, like, facial expressions, like, that they would never do normally, because it's like mask off, and they're not used to having mask off, because that's it, that's how it wraps into the conversation, because we're all in a fucking pen, we're in a cage, where we all have to play smile forever. And so when it finally is, like, mask off, because your brain is too occupied to play this dumb fucking game that we're all taught to play, yeah, it's almost like, yeah, it's like, imagine if you wore, like, a corset, like, your entire life, like, and then all of a sudden it's just, like, ripped off of you. Like, you would probably, your, like, muscles would probably just, like, relax in weird ways. Your body would probably look, like, malformed and grotesque and shit, you know. I don't know. You know, one part of me wants to say that I'm overthinking it, but another part of me is like, no. And, you know, you can be like, oh, shut up, dude, or whatever, but at the end of the day, like, I'm doing what's best for me. Because think about it. If I was just sitting here rambling, yada yada, la-di-da, about nothing, and it was going to do nothing except for waste 30 minutes of my time and my battery life, like, this shit would catch up to me, you know? Well, and, you know, I don't know if I said that in this video or another video, but, you know, like, that's something that really bothers me, is my, like, inability to just to, like, help, to, like, do things, to, like, accomplish my mission, you know. And And that's so frustrating. And yeah, so it's kind of like, it's almost like a coping mechanism, but it's not a bad coping mechanism. Like pretending like the words I say have meaning, or like ultimately important, or like, you know, this is all, we're just in the brainstorming phase of the grand tome that is going to change everything, you know, or like fucking whatever. Shit, what was I talking about? Oh, piss. How long have we been doing this? 7 minutes? Okay, let's cut this one. It is 4:49. It is mental illness. O'clock. No, I'm not mentally ill. Fuck you. Okay, no, listen. What the fuck was I talking about? Well, I am mentally ill, but not in a way that someone trying to steal the power from my words would be trying to, like, people would say that I'm mentally ill to, like, invalidate what I'm saying, and it's like, that's a whole ass other thing, and never mind. What were we talking about? Just you and me. Hey, it's just you and me. We're chilling, porch sitting. We don't have a porch, so it's gonna have to be your porch. I hope that's cool. Also, I hope you brought, like, refreshments. I don't know what kind of host would not bring refreshments for their guest. You're a bad person. I don't know about this. Actually, we're gonna have to. Okay. Am I about to smoke a cigarette? I mean, I had a half cigarette that one time and I didn't, like, start smoking again. Watch this be the last thing he says. Next thing you know, he's got a hole drilled into his fucking esophagus and he's eating tapioca with lung healing Flintstones gummies. Okay, listen. Fuck, what were we talking about? This is just turning into a meandering shit fest. But if you've made it this far, I guess you're here for it. So congratulations. Once again, you should seek professional help. Oh yeah, I have American Spirit Yellows. I've been smoking Parliament Lights. These aren't really light enough for me because my lungs gonna hurt. Why have you done this to me? You're a bad person. You're a bad influence. Look, you didn't offer me a refreshing beverage, and now, what are you gonna tell my grandkids, man, when I die at the supple young age of 46? Because I was chain smoking 20 packs a day because of you. This is your fault. Oh, whoa. Nicotine in my brain. Okay. Oh, man. Talking about confrontation. I think one of, like, 600 thoughts that were keeping me awake at, like, God, so fucking long, man, was the whole, like, being misunderstood thing. Man, it sucks. We need to be, okay, this is what I want. Well, I want a lot of things, but one or two things that I want. I want nuance. I want us to appreciate nuance. Because listen, I get it. It's tempting. This world is such a chaotic clusterfuck. It is really tempting to put things into boxes. But even if you have 20 boxes, if you think it's nice and diversified and accounts for everything, it doesn't. It just doesn't. Nuance. And we need to stop making it a blood sport about, like, being right. Okay? Because we have all been misled. We have all been fed a whole lot of bullshit, like, our whole lives. from everything, your parents, from school, from your friends parents indirectly, from all these other people indirectly, from fucking advertisements, from fucking TV and fucking the government and shit, you know, I mean, society, man. But we need to stop making it like a fucking blood sport. Like, and I get it. Listen, I've spent a lot of time like dunking on like conservatives and fascists online, you know, and even people who wouldn't fall under that category, honestly. But, and you know, it's easier when they're being a belligerent little weasel. But, you know, if there is an opening in a conversation, and this is not just like online politics, this is like applicable to like your whole ass life. Like, if there is an opening to de-escalate, to reach a common understanding, and you know, just specifically politics, because like, I'm an expert. I mean, I'm kind of an expert. I would hope so. I've wasted so many like hundreds, if not 1,000 hours, like on this shit. Like, not arguing with people, but like, I would like to think that just because I don't have a piece of paper on it, that I know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so take fascists. They're so like abhorrent. They say the nastiest shit, but you have to understand that it's like a lot of people. I'm talking America here. Like, I don't know if, well, probably everyone that follows me is from America, except for the 100 followers that I bought. They're from Brazil, or some South American country. Anyways, I did that like a couple years ago, and it was funny because they all unfollowed me after they started like seeing the shit that I post. So I don't have 100 fake followers. I probably have like 80. I don't know. I'm not keeping track of that shit. Anyways, what was I talking about? Politics, fascists. Okay, this is a good part to end this video and start another video. Gang. Okay, so we're talking about fascists. Okay, America, you have to understand, like, so many people have fascistic tendencies. You probably have some unintentional fascistic tendencies. I know I do. I know I could probably sniff it if I was around anybody. We all do. We are raised in a, you know, I guess the line between capitalistic and fascistic kind of is like, in this one instance, is kind of like hard to differentiate as far as like the behaviors and predispositions of people and the framework that they're using to think and shit. Anyways, we're raised in a bigoted, materialistic, like fuck you, like yada yada society. So we have to understand, okay, we're all woke about mental illness to a degree, right? Oh, yeah, I have anxiety. Oh, I'm really OCD when whatever. But no, so we're all like pretty woke about that, like, mostly. And that's great, that's awesome. But I think it's time that we start thinking about stuff like fascism as a mental illness, because we need to empathize and understand with these people. And I know that sounds like, what are you talking about? But like, I know a few people that, and I'm not even just saying this because they're like super Trump or whatever, although that's a, you know, big giveaway too. But, you know, you go down the list and it's like, I know some people who are like, I would describe, not like accusing, like I would never call these people this in public or to their face, because like that's just such a loaded word, but it's just like they are fascist. And some of these people that I have known are like, yeah, like, oh my god, like I can't fucking stand you, like across the board, you're fucking horrible. But some of these people, they have really redeemable qualities, and you can tell it's just like, dude, these people are misled, okay? Misled. Okay, and you know, it becomes a game of like, okay, who's worth the resources, who's worth the time? We are mortal beings with a limited amount of time and resources to spend on reaching out to people, and it is so hard to help people. especially if they don't want help. I mean, if they don't want help, you're kind of fucked. But like, even if people are like seemingly really stubborn or antagonistic, it's like most people have within their fingertips a little piece of them that wants to change, even if it's subconscious or whatever. And it's like, oh, excuse me. Okay, just, we need to stop making it such a fucking, like, okay, here it is. What are you gonna do? You're gonna double down. What are you gonna do if you feel like that if you accept what you are, that means you're a bad person, that you are like tantamount to Hitler, that you are a scourge on this earth, that you need to die, that you're a bigot, that you're evil, that you're stupid, whatever. Like, nobody wants to have all that coming crashing down on them. But what is fair is saying like, hey, person, you're misled, and it's okay. I have been misled too. We have all been misled. We all, fail. We all, in little ways, in little ways. And there's so much pressure. There's so much pressure pushing you to make the wrong decision every fucking second of your life. Okay? Something that I could recommend for anybody across the board to building a better you is conscientiousness. So, if I really say this with 100% confidence, like, God strike me with lightning now if I'm wrong, but like, if you're watching this, I'm telling you, if you don't agree with what I just said, that you like do bad things, that you fail, that you have bad tendencies baked into you, and that's not your fault. But if you don't admit that, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You're not invulnerable to, like, it is honestly arrogant. Once you appreciate our shackles, our overseers, just the things that are killing us, figuratively, well, and literally sometimes, but once you appreciate the intricacies and how it all links together, and like how fucking, I mean, it's honestly beautiful, and I mean that. It is awesome. It is obviously a horrible, evil entity, whatever, this amorphous blob that has, metastasized over humanity. But it's like, you gotta give credit where credit's due. It is brilliant. Like, if it's by intelligent design, then it's a little out of our ballpark. But, I mean, like, I think it's organic. I hope it's organic. If it's not organic, we're double fucked. But if, it's like an ant saying that, if, like, okay, say there's a boot that's crushing ants. We're all ants, right? And there's boots that are just stepping on us. Some, like, sadistic person just likes killing ants, okay? It would be like you watching a bunch of people get, a bunch of ants, like your fellow ants, getting crushed and saying, I could, like, if that boot was on me, I would just lift it up and throw that person over. It's like, no. Stop overcompensating. Stop being so stubborn, man. It's okay to admit the boot will kill you. It's okay to admit that you have felt its crush, that it has hurt you. Okay? It's not weak to say that. You are not weak. The strongest thing you can do is to admit that you're not fucking Superman, I mean, and don't despair. You can get better. We can all get stronger. It is never too late. Never too late. I mean, it's like harder under certain circumstances, such as like age or whatever. But like, you could be a fucking old ass person. You still can change. Like, you still can grow. You can still evolve. It's just, fuck, man. We need to make people feel like comfortable to change. It's like, it'd be like, imagine if fascism was like alcoholism. It's like, would the way to fix an alcoholic be to just like treat them like that, to shame them? I mean, fuck, it's like, it's not the same thing. And I mean, alcoholics do bad things too. You know, they mistreat themselves, they mistreat their loved ones, sometimes severely. Sometimes alcoholics do fucked up shit, but it's like, we still, as a society, I mean, like, we kind of like, you know, you're like, oh, you're on substances, you must just be a bad person. But less so than like, oh man, but I mean, like, politics, man. Politics. Real quick, shouts out to my snoot, to my dog, to my mom, and yo. Tee, sorry, I'm just a little random. Man, what fucking time is it? Why are you watching this? If you are watching this, you belong in an electric chair. You bad person. Bad. You're so bad. Why are you doing this? Why? Why couldn't you just listen? Why couldn't you just go to school and get a job? Have a family? Why couldn't you just smile for your pictures and shake hands with people that are bad and kiss them? You kiss their butthole and their toes and the crust between their toes, and then you quietly die. Why couldn't you just do that, man? Why do you gotta make a big fucking hoopla about all this shit? Why do you gotta be poisoning your mind with all this hippy dippy bullshit about we're all human, man? We're all just like on this earth, man, like spinning around in space, man. Whoa, the stars. Whoa, look at all the stars. Oh, there's a couple big ones. Whoa. Yep, this is a new topic time. Oh, I feel like that was a good rant. Let's cut this shit. Dude, my hands are so cold, they feel like I have arthritis. Okay, maybe we'll just shake them. Okay, I mean, like, my body is pretty warm, but holy fuck, I have like no feelings in my but I must do it for the Vine. We must together. Oh shit, I should have thought of something to talk about before I just started polluting the fucking internet with, look, Instagram has to like store this at a server somewhere. I just like, how could I do that to Instagram? Who's the CEO of Instagram is owned by Facebook. So Zucker, my man, my Zucker and jelly sandwich. What the fuck is, oh my god. Let's talk about, man, let's try and get on that wavelength we were just on. That was pretty solid. But you know, it happens. It's fleeting. It'll come for just a second, boom, it's gone. Like, fuck, man. I have the best ideas when I am like perfectly away from being able to like record or jot them down, or like, I have the best ideas when I'm like an inch away from falling asleep, or door dashing in a car, or like, you know, just that type shit. Like, and of course it is, because I'm only, you know, most comfortable to let in the little crazy ziggly wigglies when I'm relaxed, and I am not relaxed at all the other times. Because, like, okay, for example, it's like if I was sitting in front of a piece of paper, it's like whatever I'm putting down, like, I plan to publicize, and it's like I'm already thinking about all the little ankle bites, all the little shit. I let that shit get to me. I'm not gonna lie. I let people get under my skin. I'm not as bad as I used to, but sometimes I'm like, oof, man. I like, listen, if you're watching this, if you're just some random follower that like I haven't really properly talked to in a while, also, like, I have such a, it's so weird because it's like there's so many people in the periphery of my life that I like used to know that have just kind of slowly ebbed away. And I'm sure part of that is just like being an adult, but I'm sure a large part of that is like the alienating things I have said online. And you know, there was that big crazy Facebook thing that I posted. But yeah, and I think about those types of people sometimes. Like I wonder what they think of me, and it's like dumb because like at the end of the day, they're just like they should be just as relevant to my life as like I don't know, some random person I see once dropping off an order for DoorDash, you know? It's like they're just some random person. But I mean, like, aren't we all? Teehee, LMAO, too deep for me. Hashtag, okay. And that's not to, like, talk shit on any of these people, necessarily. I mean, there's some people that suck, but, you know, I've never really blocked people, but I blocked a couple people like a month ago or something, and it felt good. Just like, I think like 3 people, but I'm happy I did. My life has not gotten worse from doing that. I can say that much. We're just hurtling around. Man, I wish I could like go to sleep, honestly. Like, I mean, it's just like cold, and I'm kind of running out of things to say. I mean, like, I got so much other shit to say, but not in one sitting, you know. You know, kind of did a little light jog around in the brain, you know, flexed the old muscles. I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Yeah, no, I never really felt colored pencils that much, but I use them so much, so it's like, well, no, the colored pencils are pretty cool. But, they're like irritating sometimes in ways I can't quite describe because I'm not that experienced. What am I talking about? Oh yeah. Okay. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Hashtag when the alcohol tastes less and less like alcohol. I mean, like, I don't feel like barely buzzed. Oh no, I clicked a thing on my phone. If you weren't here for the first part of the video, do not get the C2 Nokia, the Nokia C2 Tava. Piece of shit phone. Okay, we're not going down that path again. Okay. You know what we all just need? We all just need to go in a dark room, and everybody needs to watch me with finger lights, and I'm gonna do all these super cool hand tricks, and you know, that's how we'll fix world hunger. Oh, there's something we can talk about. Not world hunger, but you know, it's kind of like there's so much pressure that I feel that okay. So I think it's kind of bullshit. This powerful feeling that I needed to be a bigger player in the game like yesterday, the day before, you know, like, but, and it's like, but, you know, and okay, so I should be able to say, like, hey, if I get everything I need to get done and I'm 60, like, fuck it. But, you know, like, sure, having all the rah huzzah when you're like in your 20s or 30s, like, you know, that would be cool, but it's like I should be satisfied to. But see, this is the problem. The problem is we are born in an interesting part of history because there is a time limit to everything that a young person existing right now can do. People, y'all, people like believe in climate change, but they don't like believe in climate change. Like it's not affecting their like thinking. I mean, like I guess some people just don't like really think about shit like that deep, you know, but it's like, okay, so we have less than 10 years to fix it before, what is it called? Feedback loops, and it's like inevitable, blah, blah, blah. I mean, barring like Deus Ex Machina from like extraterrestrials or like some crazy technological invention or something, like that's when it begins to enter, as we know our capabilities right now, that's when it begins to enter we're fucked season. And it's not like in 10 years like the world's gonna be apocalypse, but that's just when it's like, well, too late to do anything about it. And it's really gonna start setting in. You know, I've heard some numbers from like various people from like, you know, there's some guy who's talking to me about, he read this whole book about like hurricanes or something. Some like teacher that I played chess with at a bar was talking about some shit. And what was it? Oh, you know, don't hold me super to this, but I'm pretty sure the range is like 30 to 40, 50-ish years is when we're gonna start, like, when life will be very alien to what it is right now. Not saying we're all dead in 30 years, but life as you know it, like 30 years is where like civilization as it is today, like neoliberal capitalism, like, and all that shit. That's when it is like, I mean, I'm sure there'll still be vestiges of it, you know, like clinging on in 30 years. I don't know about 50 years if we go down the bad timeline. That's kind of debatable. But I mean, I don't know, a lot of shit can happen in fucking 30 years. God, I'm like 24. I just turned 24. Yee, woohoo, whippy, yippee, not whippy. Okay, switching hands. I did the smart thing and I'm putting one hand in my pocket. Haha. Owned. Epic hacks. Okay. Like, okay, but wait. So, like, I don't know. It just seems really ignorant. Like, I overheard some people talking about how, like, oh, there's, you know, we got to invest in this real estate. I like overheard this conversation, I think, when I worked in a restaurant, but it was some like, you know, yuppies talking like, but I mean, they were like fairly young. They were like in their 30-ish. And they're like, oh, and we're going to invest in this real estate, on the coast because all these cities are just going to be one huge metropolis around the year 2040 or something. And I'm like, you dumbass, it's gonna be fucking underwater. Unless, like, okay, either one of two things will happen, and I firmly believe this. I think it can either go good or bad. We cannot keep it the same. Like, because if it stays the same, it goes bad. Like, it can get better, but it can't stay the same. It has to go one direction or the other. Okay, and so it's like either there's direction A, where we're living in a type of world where you won't be able to start a little real estate empire and just milk other people's work for the rest of your life and be a billionaire, or there won't be a eastern coastline southern mega metropolis. Like, it'll be largely underwater, and what parts aren't underwater are going to be ravaged with disease, famine, topsoil degradation. I know that's not a very like sexy sounding phrase that is buzzing your little nodes, but like if you look that shit up, oh my god, we're gonna die. Did I already say disease? You know, not to mention, like, I don't know. I feel like Americans think that, I mean, like, and I'm American, like, don't get me wrong when I say that, but like, I feel like Americans don't quite realize that it's like Syria used to have malls. I mean, probably still does, I'm pretty sure, have malls. They have smartphones. They have, like, fast fashion. They have things that you, like, people, I feel like the Middle East is just a blur for most people that's just full of, like, hillbilly turban wearing goat herders that live in the mountains or hills or desert plains. I mean, yeah, there's parts of the Middle East like that. There's also parts of the Middle East that are pretty developed, that absolutely have their differences, but are definitely comparable to the imperial core, such as where we live. And it's like, Syria didn't become what it is today overnight. Okay, and what people need to understand is we have a lot of parallels with pre-Civil War Syria. Okay, and I know I was just talking about like, hey, let's all kiss the fascists on the mouth and tell them that it's okay, but you also need to understand it's like, what do you really think there's not going to be like an ISIS equivalent, or like dozens of ISIS equivalents? It's going to be fucking hell. It's going to be the state versus left and right. Okay, it's just gonna be dozens of factions. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad. And it's like, also like the American left needs to appreciate, we need to get our shit together, because like other countries that have a much stronger, determined, calloused fingers type left, they struggle. Well, because the whole world is fucking against them, wants to stomp them out. They're not getting handouts from the CIA, I'll tell you that fucking much. And they're fucking struggling to like, fighting off like ISIS coming to like literally just rape and murder entire villages, in between the state just like carpet bombing everything it can with help from American buddies and shit like that, and then you have people like Turkey and which is just basically a vassal state of America at this point in many ways. Like, I mean, isn't the whole world, but well, not. Well, anyways, we're not geopoliticking right now. The dude, stop thinking of it as this like alien thing. Like, it's like, you need to appreciate the temperature has already raised. Okay, think about it. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, was there this many school shootings, mass shootings? Was there this much terrorism? I mean, there was 9/11, but like, not like there wasn't like regular mass shootings and stuff. And that is like chilled out because COVID and shit. But it's like, I know it was a long time ago, but think pre-COVID. Do you remember how many school shootings there were? I remember it got to a point where I was almost like, it had been like 6 weeks, and I was like, I haven't heard of a school shooting in a while. Like, I remember having that thought. Like, I was like, damn, we're overdue. Like, and the temperature has been raising very delicately. It's just all a boiling pot. It's not gonna get bad overnight. It's not gonna be. There's never going to be the big thing that you're like, oh shit, this is it. It's gonna be little piece by little piece, unless we do something. But that's a whole other discussion. We're just here to doom or pill you guys. And I know some of you will be like, haha, fuck yeah. And that's the interesting thing about war is, like, did you actually know that people have less mental illness in war? And my theory on that is, it's because the environment is finally reflecting your internal environment. Like, it probably makes you feel less crazy. And and I think the official reason is that it's like, also, I mean, you're so preoccupied. Like, you're preoccupied with survival. You're not thinking about your fucking internal bullshit, your insecurities, or you're not dwelling over, oh, one time I said this one thing and oh, that was so embarrassing. Like, you don't got time. You're thinking about like, holy fuck, I haven't had clean water in a day and a half. Like, you're thinking about like, oh, I've heard like gunfire in the distance. It sounds kind of far enough away that I think I should be able to go to the grocery store. But I mean, that's the thing too, is like, it's not going to be like crazy Mad Max, even when it is like Syrian-ish, as, to reference the one example. Like, life will go on. It'll slowly resemble life right now, less and less, but it's like, I mean, I've been to Palestine, and like, I would like to think that for the most part, Palestine is a little safer than the most war-torn regions of Syria, you know. But I mean, even in Palestine, like compared to America, well, and see that's the thing. Palestine, they got Checkers, they got McDonald's, they got Starbucks, or sorry, Stars and Bucks. It's like a knockoff. You know, they got. I'm sure they got. I mean, like I haven't been there since I was like 13 or something, but I'm sure they got smartphones and shit now and all that shit too. But they also got, sometimes they got the sewage overflows, and fucking American fascists make a joke about how they like bathing in sewage. Sometimes, you know, bombs, like I remember, you know, hearing stories. I mean, like I remember there was one time I woke up and like everybody was like cowering, and I was like, what's going on? And it was because like a helicopter had been shooting people out on curfew. I like slept through it. Like I slept through the helicopter shooting people like down the street, but everyone else in the house heard it. Or like, you know, hearing a story about like, oh, that like huge pile of rubble there, that was our neighbors, but you know, they just got blown up one day. You know, the official story is probably that they had Hamas or whatever, like, or, you know, the dad in the family was doing some shit or something, but, you know, they just leveled the entire house and everybody in it, you know. Just things like that, you know. Or you would see, like, APCs and shit. But it's like, at the same time, like, I would get sent to the grocery store by myself as, like, a kid, you know, and it was, like, fine. I never had, like, a bad experience. You know, I would watch Shrek. We would have dinner, you know, you know, kids would play games in the streets, like, you know, but, and, you know, that is a, like, but, so see that as, see that kind of scenario as, like, the in-between of now and what America could look like in 30 plus years if, I mean, I don't know how else other way to put it, if the good guys don't win, like, and I know it seems really, like, hopeless in many ways, especially, like, the more you know, but I don't think it's, like, it's not, like, it's not impossible, and it's not even, like snowball's chance in hell, like, it's not, like, infinitesimal, like, we still have, you know, I don't know, though, but see, that's the whole thing, it's just climate change, it's just, because, like, that's the thing, too, is, like, okay, with how American politics are going, we could resemble Syria without global warming. It would take much longer, but here's the problem. Well, we're overdue for an economic collapse. That always makes everybody more friendly towards each other. That certainly never raises the temperature or makes people more radicalized or do crazier shit that than normalizes, etc. But and I'm sure we'll have another economic collapse or 3 in our lifetimes. I mean, more fucking draconian measures against those who would peacefully fucking protest for racial justice, you know, or anything. But yeah, you have to understand these things have like comorbidity, and they like make each other worse. It's, as the world gets worse because of global warming, that just makes it harder and harder. Like, you know, it's like, okay, so think about, there's already high political tensions. Well, now all of a sudden, everybody in the city, I don't know, is hit with a crazy hurricane. I mean, shit, I bet you didn't know this. Do you know that during Hurricane Katrina, that Nazis, not even just internet Nazis, I mean like Aryan Brotherhood Nazis, from from like states away, from like all over the country, came to New Orleans to hunt black people? I never heard about that. I learned about it. They like occupied a block and would just like kill like little stragglers and survivors. And, you know, the whole media thing. Oh, no, that's how you heard about it. That's how you fucking heard about it. If you remember anything from Hurricane Katrina and like New Orleans and stuff, I bet you heard about looters. Yep. It was the people that were killed, they would just tell the media, oh, they were looters. you know, we're talking about a city that's like half underwater. All of its like middle and upper class residents have long since evacuated, and much of the lower class too, but it's basically just people who couldn't leave that are just now trapped there and, like, you know, not trying to die. You know, I don't know about you, but I would break into Food Lion if I was starving to death. Half of them weren't even breaking into shit. They would just be like traveling through the street or something and just get like fucking killed. Yep, but you didn't hear that. I know I didn't hear about that. I know I've heard nobody reference it, even in like, honestly, even in my like super deep political spheres that I romp around in, you know. Just like a little, but see, this is an example. This is an example of how, like, okay, hurricanes will become worse and more frequent with global warming, and that's just one of the many natural disasters that will come with global warming, and that shows how, like, political tensions are worse now than they were. When did Hurricane Katrina happen? I don't fucking know, but it's like, imagine the political tensions now in a Hurricane Katrina level, like, shit happening. I mean, like, dude, some dude just shot us, like, I mean, this happened like weeks ago, but like some dude shot a strip club up because they told him to wear a mask. Like, oh my fucking god. See, that's not someone I would try and de-radicalize. That is someone who deserves to be disappeared. Jesus fucking Christ, man. People, I swear to fucking God, man. But yeah, you know, I mean, like, you gotta appreciate all the things global warming is gonna do. It's just gonna end, oh, refugees. Oh, think of the state of refugees who are trying to flee to America from Latin America or to Europe from the Middle East. Think of how they're treated. Think of the conditions they live under. Make that 5 times worse. Because, like, what is America gonna do? Like, flee to Canada? Do you think Canada in the apocalypse is gonna have, like, their shit together if they survive as a state? I mean, Canada's got their fascists too, you know. Don't be so fucking comfortable. Don't, I mean, like, think of how we treat, hey, what's up, man? People that are trying to move and stuff. Like, it's, I mean, I mean, that could be you, you know, in 30 years. It's, not enviable, to say the least. And yeah, I guess we should try and talk about, like, how to make things better. Yeah, sure, let's do that. Okay, let's end this. Okay, this is the end of the doomer. Okay. Oops. Okay, so now, if you have made it through all this, you're probably feeling really down, you know. And, well, first of all, if you've watched any part of any of these videos, like, you know, kudos for tuning in. But so just talking about how we're fucked, but let's talk about how we could not be fucked. Okay. Part of that, I think, is the aforementioned breaking of this habit of making it a blood sport, like politics, making it like just about like dunking on people for points instead of like trying to change minds and trying to like coalition build. I mean, that's a big thing. It's like, fuck the purity politics. I would rather have someone, man, now I got a data warning. What the fuck? Whatever. Are we still live? Yeah, okay. You know, fuck the purity politics, man. Like, I would rather have an imperfect person, even a severely flawed person, who is gonna, like, chip in on a good thing, you know? Just stop focusing so much on assembling the perfect, like, squad of, like, super awesome, super woke, super perfect people, because it's not gonna happen, and we're all gonna die waiting for that shit, okay? We need We need to combat disinformation, which is extremely difficult. Wait, there was something else that I had more fleshed out thought on. It was, honestly, I think just coalition building is a good, like, thing to focus on. I mean, it sounds so, like, weak. It sounds so, like, Libby, like, fucking, like, wook ass, like, shit, but fuck, man, we just need to, I don't even know, man. I guess shit is kind of fucked. Oh man, I don't even fucking know. Shit is so fucked, man. I'm sorry. I'm usually like, I have moments of like optimism and like good ideas, but they're just not coming to me, man. I'm kind of like absorbed with all the bullshit. I don't know. Maybe it's sipping. Maybe it's just not the night for it. Fuck. It's just like when you think about, I mean, like, fuck. I guess all I know that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try. I'm gonna be good as often as I can. Not just when I'm interacting with people in public, but the small interactions too. Not just the ones that are stained on the internet forever, but like every, you know, to challenge, to be firm, but not aggressive. But see, fuck, it's like, then it's just going to be misconstrued as aggressive, like, fuck. But, okay, if we want to focus on any sort of purity, we need in our like ranks, it needs to be purity of, in the sense of humanity. No, see, that's already like too high a bar. That's a we're gonna wait for it until we die like type beat again. Like, fuck. I just, man, I fucking hate. I think things can still get better. We need people to be loud. We need people to talk about the right things. Please, oh my god, focus on the right fucking things. There are just some battles that are not worth fighting over. Holy fuck. And there are some things that are just like, okay, at risk of getting fucking canceled, like, I'm sorry, like, if all you fucking care about is, like, your non-binary status and, like, memorizing, like, 60 different pronouns and genders, like, holy fuck, man, like, I mean, that's great as a hobby, but that's a hobby, man. That's not, like, I think people need to realize we're gonna fucking die, you know? I mean, like, fuck, just, like, do the right things and do things for the right reason. Like, people will, like, go to a fucking Black Lives Matter protest to, like, just take their selfie and just be seen there and to get the fucking woke points, but it's like, I don't know, just make sure that in all other aspects that you're doing the right thing, that you're not just, make sure that you're representing the cause to the best of your ability. Make sure that you are trying to de-escalate, to try and convert, not try and look the most clever with the quippy remark on Twitter, not, like, do things just for the fucking clout. And you know what? I get to fucking say that because I got zero clout. Because I've been sitting here trying to do things as I see the right way. Okay? And it is not panning out for me as far as numbers. But, you know, and it's hard because I've been conditioned to, like, only care about numbers. We all have. But it's like, the, like, small human part of me is, like, proud of myself. For, like, things I've done. And again, like, I make mistakes, like, to this day. I, like, fuck up, like, as far as, like, praxis and just fighting for the world. You know, there's definitely smarter, better spoken people than me. You know, there's people who are more confrontational, who are more, like, who are more secure, who are more strong and, just, like, I mean, like, insert whatever fucking positive adjective, honestly, like, obviously, but, like, I'm proud of myself, and I'm better at it than I was, years ago, and I am certainly better at it than I would be if I just didn't give a shit and didn't try and be critical. And I mean, like, honestly, like, the lack of success is almost like a blessing. It's made me just, like, focus on this shit. You know, it's kind of like, you ever hear that, like, when people become a celebrity, they, like, stop aging, as in they stop maturing, you know? I need to be ready that if I'm successful in the avenues of life I'm trying to pursue, I need to be ready to not be corrupted, to just not to fall into the bullshit, man. I mean, said the same thing twice, but yeah. I mean, and you know, it's important to practice it in your day-to-day life more so than politics. It's, you know, it's kind of like get your house in order before you, like, lecture someone else's house. You know, it's like, be honest. Try and be honest as you can. I mean, like, this is just an example, because, like, I had a problem with being honest for, like, a lot of my life, and, like, it was a uphill, nasty fucking battle, but I am much more honest than I am, than I was. I'm much more honest now than I was. You know, I've been working on my confidence, haven't made as many leaps and bounds with that, but definitely better in that regard. Trying to be kind when possible, for the right reasons. No. Being kind when it's hard to. You know, and sometimes there are some situations where you're just like, dude, go off. Like, I would do the same thing. But there are some things where it's just like grading you some, but there's two realities. There's the one where you go off and it just, like, turns into a shit fest, or there's the one where you just try and be patient, try and be kind, try and it works out. And it actually works out, you know? And not every time, but, you know, just, okay, that's something I think the left needs. I think the left needs to, we have let the right co-opt words like discipline and morality, which is hilarious, but it's also kind of sad. It's like, holy shit, this is such a, like, easy thing that we could have holdover, but we fucking let it go. We let them take it. Well, we need to take it back now. Okay, we cannot be, I mean, and again, I'm talking about the American left, particularly, or more so the Western left, the imperial core left. Like, deadass, some of these fucking people are like have a knee-jerk reaction to words like discipline or morality, and it's like, no, what the fuck? We have, first of all, the historical precedent to take claim over those things more than any other faction in human history. Okay, if you look into the fucking history of that thing, like, second of all, like, I think people deadass think that, like, and obviously, like, conservatives and fascists and centrists and even liberals think that, like, this shit, but, like, even some socialists or leftists or whatever think that the idea of socialism is like, I don't get to work, and I get to play video games all day, and everybody gets to worship me just for being, just for existing, and kiss my little tummy and tell me I'm awesome unconditionally, like, every single day. Holy fuck, no. That's not what it's about. And if you want to achieve a better world, you're gonna have to grind your ass into fucking dust, man. We need to, like, work. You need to work. Stop being lazy. Stop making excuses. I mean, don't be so hard on yourself that it's counterproductive. Like, I mean, and again, we are all victim to a society that has encouraged all of these negative things. Like, any negative trait you have, I could link it to, like, your lived experience, like, and explain to you that it's not your fault. It's not your fault, but you're the one that has to deal with it. Please fucking deal with it. Please don't just be like, well, I'm fucked up and that's that. I will just be shit. Don't take that for an answer. You are better than that. And if you are any person that I've ever interacted with, I have seen it in you. Even if you suck Like, I see it in you. And that part of you that you're like, you're like scared of it. You're like hiding it away. Stop, stop. It's awesome. That part of you is so fucking cool. And no, it's not cool in the way that's gonna get you the numbers. You gotta accept that. It's not cool in the way that is gonna get you money. It's not cool in the way, but it's cool in that you are like the so strong for doing it. You know, you get to be an unsung hero, you know, and I know that sucks, and I know you want all the cheerleaders and the fucking and the Lamborghini monster truck fucking whatever, but you get to be like a hero, like a real hero. And you're a hero regardless if anybody appreciates it. Okay? But you gotta do this shit. Okay? You gotta do better. And it's okay. You don't need to be sorry about it. There's nothing to forgive. Don't waste your time feeling guilty. There's no reason you should feel guilty. Guilty is the biggest waste of fucking space. Okay? Don't feel guilty about what you did yesterday. Just do better today. And I know that sounds cliche and shit, but you know what? That's what my mom would say to me when I fucked up before I went to bed when I was in grade school. And it was always extremely uncomfortable when she would say that. Like, it would, you know, it would just be easier if she was just like, ah, you little bastard. I don't fucking know how parents talk. Like, it would almost be easier to hear that, you know. But it's like, one of those cliche moments where I'm happy that that's, you know, how that shit went. Like, yeah, just fucking be better. And you're not gonna change overnight, man. You're not gonna be a better person tomorrow. Okay, it's a work in progress every single day. It's a fucking uphill battle. Everything will be stacked against you. Okay, but it's a muscle. Listen, everything in fucking life is a muscle, man. And you know what? The first time you work a muscle, it feels like it sucks. It feels like you are weak and you suck and you will never get better. And you just feel like a limp, like, piece of shit. And you wake up the next day and you're sore as fuck and you just feel like shit and you never want to do it again. And while you were doing it, you were like dying, you know, and it's embarrassing and shit. Like, it's so embarrassing. Okay, but then you do it the second day and it's kind of the same as the first day, and it stings almost worse because you're just like, holy fuck, I just suck. You worked up the strength to actually try again and you still just fucking suck. That's hard. It's hard to like fight to get the willpower to try again and then to fall on your fucking face again. But you know what? Maybe by the fourth or fifth time that you can muster the willpower to try again, it's just a little bit easier. You know? And it gets easier and easier. And you know, there'll be like periods of time where you let yourself slip and you sink a little bit down, but it's okay. Don't worry about taking a step back, because look, by the time you get there, you've already gone 20 steps forward, and, you know, don't let it go back and back and back and back and back. But, you know, you've already built that muscle. It'll be easy to get back in groove again. You know, like I used to work, okay, like, you know, keep with the metaphoric thinking here, but like for more like muscle metaphor, like, you know, I used to work out in high school, like pretty a lot, not like a jock, like, no, but you know, like definitely a lot for me. And you know, like I, you know, haven't really kept up with it as much as I should have. I haven't been exercising as much as I should have, like, ever since. And you know, like back in that day, like I had weight training class, which made it way easy. You know, I had well, what do they call it at Laney? Holy shit, I don't remember. But you know, like lifting weights and running, and I would like run 5 miles a night when I was home. Well, you know, like nowadays, like I can't do that. But, and you know, it's like, say it's been like 3 months since I ran. If I run again, oh my god, I suck. But I bounce back pretty quick, and there is much improvement, you know. Or it's like push-ups. Like I was like, okay, I need to start just doing push-ups, you know. And like I haven't done push-ups in a while, and like the first day, like I could barely do like 20. Like, I mean, like not even 20, I don't think, you know, but I did like a little bit more each day, and like, and it sucked. Like, it fucking sucked. Like, I was like, you know, but you know, I have kept at it for like 2 weeks, and I have bounced back. So like, you know, if you ever stumble, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, if you ever get better in any regard, and I would like to think, obviously, not just talking about physical, like mentally, emotionally, yada yada, whatever. Like, if you stumble, it's okay, because you do have that like core. You have the skeleton, so to speak, built up. You know, it'll be easy to get back, but you got to get back. Okay, don't let it just keep going down and down and down and down. Because then eventually the skeleton, so to speak, obviously when you work out, your skeleton doesn't get stronger. The metaphor is kind of breaking down. But, you know, it will eventually deteriorate. But it deteriorates much slower than that, like, surface level improvement, you know? And that's all it's about, really, is building the core, building that skeleton. Because then you can bounce back from failure. And don't think of activities that you want to improve on, or attributes or whatever. Don't think about it just that. Think about all the things that affect that. So like, for example, back to the exercise thing. It's like, that took discipline. I had to build up my discipline to be able to achieve that. And I used to have absolutely no discipline, you know, or at least extremely little. And, you know, I definitely am not perfectly disciplined now, but, wait, my phone just, okay. Holy fuck, this is long. Who the fuck is gonna watch this? Just, yeah, you have to think about abstract things like that, like discipline, like conscientiousness. Okay, the number one thing that you have to build first, I know I already said this, but just conscientiousness. Just think. Just think about, be very aware, and it's going to be exhausting. Like, being aware is exhausting, but again, it'll get easier, and eventually you will wish you could turn it off. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, there is a burden to bear with power. What's the Spider-Man quote? I don't know. But, unlimited power! Alright, I think it's... Dude, I just pulled an all-nighter. I, like, didn't even want to, man. Like, I wanted to fucking go to sleep, man. But whatever, it's fine. We just sipping. We just chillin'. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, okay, wait, this video is long as fuck. Holy shit.